Okay, so what was your first question?
Okay, so like for example, one of the homework problems says calculate the standard deviation of the two neighborhoods. So when it asks that, are we finding standard deviation S or standard deviation P? Standard
Uh,
deviation of the population
you
or
should
standard
you should
deviation
use standard deviation for a sample.
for sample? That's what I thought.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is there a specific wording when we should use standard deviation P, like for the population, like the entire whole? Because
If you are specifically told that it's a population.
okay, that's the only time. So
Yes,
on the exam, if it says find the standard deviation, then we're
you
just
should
doing
assume
standard
sample.
sample. Okay, correct. Okay, good. That's what I've been doing. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Okay.
And then my other question is when we go over here. Okay. Okay. So for problem number okay, so when we get to the one they're not exactly numbered on mine, but when we get to the one that's asking about the houses in the different neighborhoods, there's a
Mhm.
question that says find the standard deviation.
Okay,
Uh,
let me see if I can get your questions so I can look at them directly.
I'm sorry, what do you need from me?
Just give me a minute. Let me get the questions you're talking about.
Okay. Okay.
That is the week 14 homework assignment, right?
Yes, this week.
Okay, all right. But I don't seem to see those questions.
I'm sorry, please repeat that.
I don't seem to see the questions you're talking about on
I
standard deviation.
I can
Uh,
share my screen if you want me to the one that I'm talking about is if you scroll down to we're asked to find the average and standard deviation for the age of houses in the two neighborhoods. And then
okay.
okay, so I found the average age of the house sold. Okay, so I found the average age by basically calculating um the average age of the house and then doing 2009 minus the average age, so 58 years for Westerly, 59 years for Mariner. And then my
Okay.
question is, how do you find the standard deviation for the age of the houses sold? Because I found the standard deviation for the year the houses were built. Um,
Okay.
I'm not sure how to calculate the standard deviation for the age.
All right. Let me try to locate what you are saying in a different way.
Because we're given years built. So I was able to calculate from the years built.
No, you cannot use the years built.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if you want to get the age of the house, you have to subtract the years sold. You have to subtract the year built from the year sold because that gives you the age of the house.
So that's what I did for the average age. But when we're
Okay.
finding the standard deviation,
So you once you calculate the mean, you can use the mean to calculate the standard deviation. But let me try to get so I can answer your questions much more directly. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so it says calculate the average and the standard deviation for the sale price of houses. You were able to do that?
Okay, so what I got was so I was able to find the average age of houses sold in Westerly
Okay.
by I calculated the average. Okay, let me see, where's my Excel? Right. So I calculated the average for the year that each one was so per neighborhood so built, and then
Yeah.
I subtracted that number 2009 minus that number, um and
Yes,
that's how I got the average.
that's how you get the age of the houses.
Right, the age, and then
Okay.
I didn't know how to do the standard deviation for that problem.
Okay, but that's very simple. Um let's try to get that information. Okay, so you're seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so year sold is 2009, and year built is not is given by, so let's look at the age. All right. And that's equal C1 minus
A1 minus.
actually C2 minus F2 because all right, so you get that age and then you drag down. All right. Okay, so that's the age. Now what you got?
Okay, so we're creating another column
Yes,
with the age of each house, and the
yeah,
age is going to be year sold minus year.
minus year built.
Okay, so C1 minus F1. Okay, okay.
Yes.
And then we
Okay.
do the standard deviation formula.
Then essentially you calculate the mean from there,
Okay.
okay, which is equals average, okay, equals average, and you paint all the way through.
But why are you doing the average of the entire thing? Don't you want to divide it by neighborhood?
No, well, the whole, no, I'm not doing it by neighborhood. I'm just getting everything. Were you asked to do it by neighborhood?
I believe so, but maybe I'm
Let's
wrong.
see.
I
Let's
thought
see.
finding the average of each neighborhood.
Uh, oh, for each neighborhood. Okay.
Yeah, it says the average and standard deviation for the age of houses in the two neighborhoods.
Okay. Very good. You have Marina. And so, what you do then, so you come in here Okay, I have Marina, and I'm gonna call that one West, just for short, right? And so for Marina, so this is neighborhood, this is average, right? And
Right.
so equals average. And since we are doing Marina, we go to paint Marina. And we paint Marina, right? So you get the average age for Marina.
Right. That's what I got, I believe.
All right. And then for West was average, and we paint West layer. Okay. And that gives us the average for West layer. Is that correct?
Right. I
Okay.
got that.
Now, for each neighborhood,
Actually, I got different ones.
this is standard deviation, right? And so it was STD STD STDev. Okay. STDev dot S, right? And we're doing Mariner. And so we go to Mariner. And that's it. You do the same for West layer, all right? Well, you can do it by hand uh, by using the location. For example, let me do the one for West layer, okay? And so we essentially use the formula for standard deviation, all right? Okay. Let me stop share this. And let me see. Can you see the whiteboard?
No,
You're not seeing the whiteboard?
no. Oh, now I see it.
You
Yeah.
see it? And so you use the formula. Summation. No, that's not what I'm supposed to use. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Use the formula. Summation x minus x bar squared, or the square root, divided by n minus 1. You can use that formula, but then that means you have to go through the columns. You got it?
You have
But
to go through what? Can you repeat that?
you have to go through the columns. That is, you have to,
You have to,
let me,
yeah.
I'm
So
going to
for the
close
the
the,
exam, if we have to do standard deviation and we have to show our work, is it okay to do it on Excel and then show that we calculated it on Excel? Because,
yes, I would then want to see the Excel file.
okay, so we could send
And
the,
what will happen is I'm going to highlight this and see that you use the formula.
Okay, so we'd have to send the original Excel file.
Yes, you have to upload the Excel file.
Okay, because it
And
would be
then when I upload the Excel file, I'm going to click and make sure that you use the formula correctly.
okay, because it would be incredibly time consuming to have to write every single one from the column and add it all. It
Well,
would
I
be
mean, if you are doing, let me say you are doing West layer. Okay, this is the mean for West layer. And so first of all, you have to calculate x minus x bar squared. All right. And so that will be equals I2 minus $L minus $L
so this is the standard deviation
dollar
by hand.
$3, yes, $3,
Okay.
$3. So it highlights $3 to the power 2. So that means you have to, first of all, if you wanted to do it by hand, which I usually don't require. So you calculate the squared deviations all the way down to and then get the sum of that, the summation of that. Is that correct? Then divided by n minus 1, which you can get from there and get a square root of it. You don't have to go through all of that unless I ask you to, but not in an exam.
You're not going to ask that in the exam.
No, not in an exam. I mean, in this day and age, we don't do that. In my time, we did that because you didn't have all these beautiful toys called Windows or even computers. And even when we had computers, you had to write the source program by yourself from scratch. Okay. We use Fortran, a language called Fortran. But you don't have to do that now, you know. So if you just do it the way I have it in this table, then you're fine. But you must upload the Excel file.
Okay.
And when you upload the Excel file, I'm going to go in here, click on that, and I'm going to see the formula. If I
Okay.
don't see the formula, I'll just say you wrote it down from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can see it's pretty easy and straightforward to use Excel to do it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I had some questions about payout annuities.
Okay.
Can I ask you about those?
Sure.
Okay. So, this is a couple questions from the quiz, back when we did payout annuities.
Okay.
And so, I took screenshots of the quiz, but if you have access to the quiz, I
I
wanted
have
to ask
access to the quiz. And which week was that?
the week. Hold on. I'll try to find it. 'Cause I think I labeled it. Um, hold on. Quiz. I think it was a week in April. Payout annuities. Um,
Okay, let's see. Paid annuities has to be, okay, that's week 10.
that sounds correct.
Okay. And
So question number 1,
right.
does it start on January 2001? A company takes a $5 million loan to purchase an apartment complex. The loan is to be financed over 5 years at an interest rate of 4% payable every 6 months. And then we have a table.
Let's see. Install quiz. Okay, let me see. All right, so it's question that says what? The company has what?
On January 2001, a company takes a $5 million loan to purchase an apartment complex. The loan is to be financed over 5 years at an interest rate of 4%, payable every 6 months. And then we have a table, and then we're asked, what is the balance of the loan as of June 30th, 2003?
Let me see. The wrong one. Let me see. Um, you say some payout annuities?
Yeah,
Let me see. Let's see. All right. January 2001. Okay, fine.
did you find
Okay.
it?
Yes, I have it. Now, I gave you all the payments. Are we correct?
So, okay, so from what I see, we have a table that says time, period, and then I don't,
Payment.
okay, so it's not labeled on like what I saved from it, but so
Let me share my screen and be sure we are looking at the same thing. That's it?
yes, only mine doesn't have the payment, interest, principal, and balance labeled. But yes, this is the one I was asking about, I believe.
You mean you don't have the payment?
No, because when it showed on my end, it only had time and period marked, and then these, from payment, interest, principal, and balance,
Mhm.
those were blank, like there's no labels.
Okay, it shouldn't be so, but let me see. May, yeah, this is the quiz. Let me go back to it. Okay, what are you seeing?
I can show you my, I can share my screen if you want to see. But it's okay, we can just look at yours for now and just use yours to figure out how to solve it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to make sure that we have the same thing. I would be surprised if we did not have the This is what they're talking about. You shouldn't come out blank on your side because this is what I'm seeing from the test itself.
Okay, I can go.
So maybe you should share your own screen because this is what is on the test. That's what everybody's gonna see. Well, I gave you the. Did you see the payments? The constant amount 556, 642.
Okay, so I'm I'm looking at the screenshot that I took from it. I don't even know if I can still access the quiz now. When I try to
I mean,
access
I
the
will open it so you can access it. I don't think you can.
Yeah, when I try to access the quiz after, it shows like only part of the information. Like it doesn't show like the multiple choice questions. It just shows, I mean, it's very limited what I can see. And then also I was gonna ask you if you wouldn't mind sending me the midterm questions again so I can use them as a study guide.
But
Um,
I sent you something, didn't you? You didn't see it?
I did see it, but it's not the same as the midterm, and I struggled with the midterm, so I wanted to be able to like make sure I could.
Oh, you want to see the midterm exam again?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That I wouldn't send the midterm again because it would compromise the integrity of the exam.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I could look at um, I could look at it, make a request, and
Could you look at it and see what I got wrong and give me a
yes,
question?
and I can give you feedback. What it was is it was not that you got things wrong, just you did not show your work.
Okay.
I think you got the answers correctly, but you just did not show your work. And I penalized heavily for not showing your work.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, if you could give problems that were similar to the midterm questions, I would like to use them to prepare for the final.
Okay. I could send you some questions and modify the figures, but you
Yeah.
have to make that request tonight because pretty soon I'm going to post the final exam. But just send me an email tonight, and I'm going to pick up some of the questions and modify the figures, and then you can take a look at at it.
Okay.
Between today is Thursday, so say no later than Monday or Tuesday, you can request a session, and then I will look at the questions, and then we can work through one or two of them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Um, in the meantime, can we do this problem from the quiz? This
Okay.
one?
Okay. So what you need to do, and I'm going to describe it first, and then I'm going to put it on the screen on the spreadsheet. It's very easy to do. Uh, you see, you have the payment, which is constant. You calculated the payment for you. So that's not the issue, right? And I did the first one. The interest rate is 4% payable every 6 months. So that means that you divide interest rate by 2.
You
So
divide the interest rate by
it
2?
yeah, because it's payable every 6 months. So every 6 months you pay half of the interest rate.
Okay.
Okay. If it was every quarter, then that means that you divide interest rate by 4.
Okay.
You can see here we have um, June, December, June, December, June, December. So it's every 6 months.
Okay.
You got it? Okay. And so June is the first period, December is the second period, and June 2002 is the third period, and December 2002 is the fourth period. So now I did the first one. So if you divide the interest rate by 2, which means you're not paying 2%. So
Okay.
2% of 5 million, the interest amount to be 100,000.
Okay.
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 And so if you pay 556,642 to a bank, this is the way they do it. If you pay 556,642 to the bank, they will deduct 100,000 interest.
Okay.
And so you get credit towards payment of your loan of 456,642. Get it? So in a
Yeah.
sense, even though you paid 556,642, they're gonna say you only paid 456,642 towards your loan. And so they deduct the 456,642 from the 5 million. So that's your balance.
Okay.
Okay. And so your new balance is smaller than the original 500,000. So the next period, you pay 2% of the new balance. Okay. So let us then try to put it on a spreadsheet.
Okay. Because we have to jump forward to the moment in time for June 2004, right?
Yes.
You have to find the interest payment at
So
that time.
I'm going to put this on a spreadsheet, and then I'll pull up the screen so you can see what's going on. I'm going to stop share this. I'm going to share a new screen. All right. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see
Okay.
it.
All right. So let's
So may I ask, is there a way using the payout annuity formula? Is there a way to easily solve this problem, or is it the best way to do it on Excel?
no, the best way to do it is by Excel, because essentially what you're going to be doing, if you wanted to okay, put it this way. You can do it by hand by using your calculator. All right. Okay. What I'm going to do on the screen is the same thing as what you would do by hand by using your calculator. All right. Okay. The hard part of it is calculating this payment. You can, but I already did the calculation of the payment for you. But in an exam, I could ask you to calculate the payment first. I'll ask you to calculate the payment first because it's not difficult to calculate the payment. What you're going to use is the present value of an annuity formula to calculate the periodic payment. And once you calculate the periodic payment, it's the same amount. So, but this part that I gave you, I just wanted you to solve through. So now your okay, so let's calculate the interest, right?
Right.
Okay. So the interest is equals
Equal.
0.02 times G3, G3, which is
5 million.
the 5 million here. You see the G3 here?
Yeah, it's the
Okay. So it's equals 102 star G3. So it highlights the 5 million. You get it?
yeah.
And that's equals, oh, I see something is going on here. Let me make sure these are numbers. Currency. All right. Everything here is gonna be currency. Okay. Equals 102 G3. Why is it not giving me?
Yeah, I get errors like that sometimes, but I don't know how to fix it.
I don't know what's doing that. Let me see. Because it's making it look like this is not a number.
Yeah, I've had this happen to me when I've been trying to do stuff, but I don't know how to fix it when this happens.
Let me see. I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. Yeah, tell tell me how to fix it when, because I think, yeah, stuff like this has happened to me. Do you think it's because of the way you pasted the chart?
Maybe because I pasted it out of equals 102 star G3. That's it. It's
Yeah.
still giving me a value. It's still not giving, it's still giving me the error. Let me see if I delete it and recreated the column. This 102 3. This is going to be a difficult situation. Let me see. Over here was 102 G3. No, it's not going to work.
You know, like, okay, so see how this is happening to you right now? Like, what if this happens to me on the test?
uh,
Can't get anything done.
no, I think this is just because this thing was pasted from an MS Word 5. This is why it's doing this.
So do you have to redo it from scratch?
Yes, I may have to.
But last time we had our meeting, you pasted something from the Microsoft Word file and this didn't happen.
And it didn't happen like that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
do you know, like, because I'm worried about like during the test, you have a time limit. So if I have an issue like this, then I'll be like really messed up.
Yes, I mean, it's gonna get somebody flustered.
I'm sorry?
And it's gonna get somebody flustered.
Yeah, exactly. So how would you handle like an issue like this if you're on a time test?
Plus 0.02. Still giving me the same error. We'll find out what the problem is. Two, because it's making it look like, okay, I'm gonna make this 5. All right. So because it's assuming that that is not a value. So I'm gonna rewrite this. Okay. So equals 102 G3. Okay. So now it gives you your interest, right?
How did you
Okay.
how did you fix it?
How did I what?
How did you fix the error?
What I did was I went in and typed this 5 million, retyped it rather than copy it from an MS Word file.
Okay, so you deleted it and then you
Typed it in by hand so that you recognize it as a number.
Okay.
Initially, it was not recognizing it as a number. So let us see if it will recognize it as numbers. Then I'm going to retype that also. So now that this is interest.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, the bank will now give you credit after deducting the interest on the balance of your loan. So this will become equals your payment, which is D4 minus E4, which is your interest, was D4 minus E4. All right, you see? So I have to go and retype this 556, 642.
It's the same issue because it doesn't.
556, 642.63. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm going to, all right.
Girls, be quiet.
All right. So now it will give you credit for only a part of your payment because it will deduct the interest. The bank will deduct the interest on the full amount. So now the balance on your loan will be equals G3 minus F4. That is the balance that was at the beginning minus the amount of credit that you get. You get it? This is your balance. And so you now have a balance of 4,543,000 and change. Now, the whole idea is that then the next period, you're going to pay interest only on the balance, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you only pay interest on the 4,543,157. So
And so it becomes
how
2% interest times G4.
Okay, how did you get the next part? Like how did you get the next interest payment? Did you just like bring it
What
down?
I did was to copy it down.
You just brought it down and it already knew the formula?
Because it has the formula as a constant amount, 0.2.
Okay, so 0.02 of G4.
G4, which is your new balance, right?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to copy it again. All right. which is, I'm going to, sorry, this will be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this down, and it is D5 minus E5.
Okay.
You get it? Okay. I'm going to copy this down, which gives you
If you go back,
G4 minus F5, which is, it takes the balance minus the amount of credit you got.
but what? Okay, I guess what I don't understand is like, I don't know if my Excel is going to understand to adjust it by the next cell. Like,
It will.
it will understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm not going to trouble myself pulling down column by column, right?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this whole area that is based on the formulas.
Okay.
And I'm going to come in here and pull it down.
Okay.
And lo and behold, at the end, you almost get a 0. It's about 109, just because something is off a little bit in the formula. But you can see that at the end of it, I just drag it down, and you can now copy up the answers. But if you do it, if it's not a multiple choice question, if it was a problem that I gave you an exam to do it by hand, I would want to see this spreadsheet. And I think you have homework assignments that require you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I had questions about. This is what I didn't know how to do.
Okay. So then the best thing would have been to take a homework assignment, and we're going to do it right now. We take a homework assignment and we do this on a spreadsheet, right? So I'm going to stop share this for now. Let's pick up a homework problem. All right.
Professor, is there a video that you know about that kind of walks? Well, actually, I'll be able to rewatch this video because you recorded this, so that'll be helpful. But are there any other videos that kind of like go through this that you know about that I could use to study?
Okay, let's yes, we'll try. Let me get this one straight first. Okay. Okay, so this is a very simple problem. Okay. I'm going to share screen so that you can see what the problem is. You see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So write down these numbers, okay? As an amount of 200,000 is borrowed, right? for
Right.
5 years at 12%.
Okay.
Okay. Make an amortization schedule showing the quarterly interest. So this is going to be quarterly, so they're going to be 20 periods, but I'm going to just do the entire 20 period. Okay.
So 12% divided by 4. So
12% divided by 4. This is what you're going to use. Okay. And see how exactly what we just did. Right.
right.
So I'm going to share screen again. And I'm going to okay. So this is going to be quarterly payments. So this is going to be 200,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what will be the periodic payment? The periodic payment is going to use the present value of an annuity formula, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to solve that out. Okay. So this is going to be 200,000. It's going to be quarterly payments. And we're going to solve that. You know how to use the present value formula for an annuity?
I'm not sure I know how to do it on Excel. It's
You don't have to do it in Excel. You can work it out by hand
you do it by
and
hand.
show your work and then put in the number.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's the payout annuity formula. It's the annuity formula that we learned, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have the formula memorized. I'd have to like find it in the textbook, but
Yeah,
I know.
it's there. And you can also do it in Excel if you really, set your mind to it. But I'm going to let me grab my calculator here. Okay. All right. And so the 12% will be divided by 4, so 0.12 over 4 is 0.03 plus 1. Okay. To the power minus 5 years, so the power minus 20. Okay.
You're using the P equals W in parentheses times 1 minus 1 plus R divided by K to the KT,
Yes.
all divided by
Okay.
R. Yeah, so, okay.
All right.
You can do that in Excel?
Yeah, you can do that in Excel.
Okay, I don't know how to do that in Excel.
Okay. And so all right, I get 13,443. So this is gonna be 13,443.14. Okay. And so your payments, you drag that down since it's the same, it's a constant payment. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay. The interest will be equals 0.03
Right.
times G3. All right. So this is your initial payment. The principal is going to be your payment minus your interest, which is going to be equals D4 minus E4,
Okay.
and your balance will be equals G3 minus F4. So that's your new balance. You don't have to go through all that trouble. You paint that. See that?
Yeah.
And drag it down.
Okay.
Okay. Now, remember I did only 10 periods.
Right.
Okay. I did only 10 periods. So I can extend this to 20 periods. Okay. Okay, I've extended it to 20 periods. And I can just Write this down. And lo and behold, at the end of 20 periods, loan is gone.
Right.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is 13443. It's increasing the amount. All right. So you see at the end of the period, you only have 4 cents. And if you have ever taken like a car note or whatever, when you're making your car notes, very often at the end of the period, the bank will send you a check for 4 cents. If this is a negative number, you can make I took a car note for $18,000. And at the end of the payment period, they just sent me a check for $2.16 because I overpaid by $2.16. That was paying the same amount. Okay, but that's what happens.
Right.
Okay, but this is the way you can do it. Now, remember that what I have done here is to implement what I would do by hand on an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, you have to do it by hand. You have to go through the calculations one by one. Usually in an exam, I will ask you to like do it for 3 periods and ask, okay, what would be the balance at the end of 3 periods? And so you have to calculate it yourself. But if you have the facility to take the number and put it on Excel, if you have that kind of time, you can do it. You know, but using Excel is much more useful if you have like 20 periods or 30 periods or even 10 periods. But if I ask you for the next 3 periods or 4 periods, then trying to put it on Excel is going to take up the time, and that's why I just calculate it by hand.
Okay. So if you do it by hand, then you just have to like go through and calculate it, and then I'd have to show my work like for
Yes,
each.
you have to show your work.
Okay.
You have to show me how you calculated the periodic payment. You have to show me how you calculated the interest. To show me how you calculated the balance, and show me how you move to the next period.
Okay.
But I will not usually ask you to do a whole 20 period, or even I won't even ask you to do 5 periods on an exam.
Okay. But it's still if you have to go through 5 periods.
Yeah, but you can see, like in that quiz, I could have that kind of question in the exam, but I'll do the calculation of the periodic payment for you.
Okay.
Or in an exam, I'll ask you just to give me the periodic payment.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, calculating the periodic payment itself will take you 5 minutes. I'll ask you how much interest are you going to pay in the second period or in the third period, which is not going to be difficult to get to.
Okay, so I don't have a scientific calculator, so I Google to get the scientific calculator.
Oh, yeah, please get a scientific calculator.
Okay, but would you accept like a screenshot of my work on the scientific calculator on when I Google it to show you?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you know, I'll tell you my story with the scientific calculator. When I was a sophomore in Tulsa, that was when scientific calculators were just coming out. And so my finance professor said we should get scientific calculators. In my braggadocio, you know, I mean, my high school math was very good. And so I didn't want to buy the scientific calculator. And so he gave us a quiz in the class, and I got a 0. Because others used the scientific calculator, and lo and behold, quick, they got the answers and wrote it down. So I said, okay, and I was trying to do it by hand. Before I could do everything by hand and write it down, the 5 minutes was gone. So the next quiz, the next week, I tried it again.
I'm going to show your work.
And I got another 0. Whoa. So I said, I'm not going to be getting these zeros. I'm going to go get me a scientific calculator. And so I went to the store in Target in Tulsa and bought a scientific calculator for $400.
Wow.
But these scientific calculators these days cost $10. So that to tell you what the progress that has been made between 1976 and now. So it's better for you to get a scientific calculator. But many phones now, don't you have a cell phone?
I do.
Well, the
but
cell phone has a scientific calculator in it.
I like don't think it's as accurate. I go on
It is,
Des.
it is accurate. All you have to do is to put it sideways.
Yeah, I did that. I did
Okay.
that. Do it on I like to do it on Desmos online because I can see everything and I can like
Okay.
put it in the right spot so
Okay.
that I know it's in the right spot. So
Okay.
that I like to do it like that because then I can see it and then I can screenshot it and
Okay,
upload.
fine and good.
Okay. And that counts as showing my work.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. So I'm gonna email you tonight about questions that are similar to your midterm questions.
Okay.
And then once you send those, I can start looking at them and then we can maybe have another meeting if I have any questions.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for your help, Professor.
Yeah, thanks. Have a nice evening.
You too.
All right then. Bye.